If you've been struggling to know when to raise your prices, I'm going to give you 3 markers today that are going to tell you exactly when to raise your prices here today on 5-Minute Mentoring. Hey, my friends, so glad you're with me today on 5-Minute Mentoring. You know, if you are an artist and you're out there in the marketplace, you know that you're always asking, should my prices be higher? Should my prices be lower? I don't know, when should I raise them? How much should I raise them by? Oh, all the different questions that we're always playing with ourselves and with our mind, just being like, I don't know when to do this. Listen, I want to take some of the mystery away today from you when it comes to raising your prices and giving you some real clear markers that you can begin to recognize, signposts, if you will, along the journeys that will tell you, hey, it's time to raise your prices. All right. So get your pencil out. Number 1 would be if you are way outside of the market norm for where you are in your journey as an artist, your career, and the work that you're doing, the quality of work that you're producing. If other artists that are of the same quality and level and same place in their career, if they are selling their work for much higher or even much lower, but usually they're selling it for much higher. If you're way out of that range, it's time to get into that range. And that may seem like a big step for you. And most of that's probably in your head. All right. It's maybe a confidence issue, but I want to encourage you, you got to be within that market norm, unless you've been successfully selling your work for years and years and years, and you have a reputation such that will allow you to command a higher price. Thankfully, many artists get to that. I got to that in my art career where I could charge more than others were just because of who I was and what I was producing. But if most people don't start out that way. All right. So you need to make sure you're in that range of normal. All right. Number 2, a really big telltale sign that you need to raise your prices is that you're not able to make enough money to, number 1, cover your expenses. Number 2, pay yourself a living wage. And number 3, have enough to invest back in your business to grow. Those 3 things are really important. And if you're not charging enough for your work in order for those 3 things to happen, then either you're way out of range when it comes to what you're charging, or you're not making and selling enough work. And both of those can be at play in that. But again, if you're within the normal range of what professional artists are selling their work for in your region, in your area, based on where you are in your career, the quality of work you're doing, all that sort of thing, you should be able to do those things. But if you're not, you're not able to pay your bills, meet your expenses, pay yourself, and also have enough to reinvest back in your business, you need to consider raising your prices. Now, thirdly, a really easy telltale sign to know that you need to raise your prices is if your work is selling too quickly. If you're going to shows or sharing your work on social media or on your website, and man, every time you throw something up there, it's just selling like boom, 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 guaranteed you're leaving money on the table. Guaranteed you're not charging enough for your work. If you're getting overwhelmed because you're selling too much work, and I know you may be saying, whoever said that? Said no artist ever? Yeah, people do that all the time. I hear that a lot, actually, from emerging artists who are starting to get some success with their work, starting to build some clientele and followers. And what's happening is they're still charging, the prices that they were when they were a beginner, but they're doing a lot better work, and people are really liking it, connecting. And so, man, they recognize, hey, this guy's not charging, this woman's not charging what she should be. This is a deal. I'm going to get this right now. And so a way to sort of stem the flow, if you will, of too many sales is to raise your prices. It's just basically supply and demand, because you always want to have a little bit of pushback from the market. You always want to have those people that say, oh man, I would love your work, but it's so expensive. I might have to save up for that. You want that, because that is, increasing the desirability of your work, increasing the perception of your work, all those things. And it's letting you create better work for a higher price, which gives you more time in the studio and gives you more ability to spend time on your work, which we all want to be doing as artists, spend time in the studio. All right. Listen, there's a lot more that I'd love to tell you about how to price your art. I actually wrote a book about it last year called How to Price Your Art. Imagine that. It's a super simple little book, quick read. I've actually got a little course that goes along with it. You can pick the book up on Amazon. You can pick the course up right here in the show notes. And it's a 90-minute-ish course that will walk you through the book, plus a whole lot more. You'll get access to my pricing calculator, which will take all the guesswork out of pricing your work and get you on the way to charging enough where you can not only pay your expenses, but make a living and be able to have enough to invest back in your business to do the thing that God's called you to do. I love you, my friend. Remember, till next time, you were created to thrive. Bye.